Well, you've gotten a aquarium spotlight video on each of my tanks, but you haven't heard about the Discus tank. I had one already filmed, but in the time it took me to kind of put things together, it got a little stale, it got a little old. Things are a little different. So here's the update on the 55-gallon Discus Aquarium, how it's doing. All the fish are doing great. As you can see, they're very active, floating around, always hungry, interacting with me quite a bit, as you can see. As a matter of fact, I've been able to hand feed them recently, and I'll show you how I feed them, or what I feed them. A couple changes in the tank. First of all, I've noticed that there's been some new growth. You can see the brighter green there at the top of some of the plants. You'll see some brighter green. So we're seeing some new growth on the plants. That's a good sign. So they're able to tolerate some of the temperature, even on this one right here. Now, you'll notice that that heater that was on this side of the tank in front of the UV back there, that heater is gone. And what happened is an alarm went off, and I was getting what showed as an E5 error message. And the E5 meant that there wasn't water on the heating unit, which didn't make any sense because the heater was completely submerged. So I didn't want to risk it. So I contacted Higer, and we're working on it. And there's some new plant growth there. But in the meantime, I had a 300 watt Eheim. You can see it back there laying on its side, the very back of the aquarium. And I'm running it through a controller. You can see the controller up here. It's keeping the tank in that 82 to 83 range that I'm keeping it in. So it's doing a great job at just keeping things where they should be. I'll show you what I feed these guys. This is the combination of foods. Some of this original Stenker granulat. Picked that up from my friends over at Super Cichlids. I also have some of the flakes from Cunningham, because I want to transition the fish over, so I want to keep feeding them what they were getting fed originally. They love these blackworms, again from Super Cichlids. This is their blackworm brand. That's the one that I hand feed them. And I mix together a little bit of this growth, staple, and color food from my friends over at Sarah. So they're getting a very high quality diet. And I'll show you how they react to it. I mix it up a bit because I want them to be accustomed to eating a variety of food. Let's go ahead and throw a little in there. You'll see they are very voracious eaters. Now, one of the reasons they have such a great appetite is because you're keeping the tank at a high temperature. Let's drop a little bit of this in there. We'll start off with some of this stinker. I usually would be feeding it to both sides of the aquarium because that way everybody can get to it. But this side is covered up with the food. So we'll just feed to this side. So you can see they do have good appetite and good interest in that food. Well, that's a beauty, huh? Then I go ahead and give them a little bit of flake. They love going after the flakes. pinch of flake food. Eventually, I'd like to have them mostly on pellets, but they're eating everything, and that's what I want. I didn't want Discus that were finicky eaters. I wanted them to be willing to eat a little bit of everything. Now, some of that Sera food in these containers is in this container right here. I mixed a little bit in because I was out of town for a little bit. So I went ahead and created a bit of a blend, a bit of a mix. So I'm not going to feed them the Sera now because they already got it when I put these pellets in there. But let me show you how they react to these guys, the black worms. Let's let them work on those pellets and flakes a little bit. This tank is getting a minimum of 2 or more water changes a week. With each water change, I am adding vitamins. I use Vitachem. I condition the water with either Fritz Complete or some of the Aquarium Co-op conditioner. And once a week, I'll clean one of the hang-on backs that are on the back here. I have 2 of these Hydra bilaterals. Once a week, those get cleaned. You know, rinse out the cartridges. There's also an Aquarium Co-op lithium battery pump. Runs 24/7. Adding extra oxygen, even though I am getting a lot of surface tension breakup with the 2 hang-on back filters and the UV, which has an output. You can see here the output after the water runs past the UV light comes out of an output at the top there. So there's a lot of oxygenation going on, which you need in an aquarium that's over 80 degrees. So here's a couple of these black worms. First, I'll show you how they'll just eat from my hand. Feels real funny having them peck on there. Some of these guys have red eyes. They're very, very pretty. They're getting very used to and acclimated to me messing around. I'll stick it to the glass. See if I can get it to stick. They'll probably break it off. There you go. They broke it off right away. I got another one. There you go. Don't want anybody left out. Try and stick this one to the glass. Oh, there it goes. If you stick it to the glass right away, it will stay on the glass, but if you're hand feeding them a little bit, it doesn't really stay on there. It gets a little bit too soaked. But you can see they just love those black worms from Lisa and Martin and the family over at Super Cichlids in Delaware. It's their proprietary blend. Let's turn this light off. It's cut out some of the glare. So that's the update on the 55 gallons. I'm pretty sure this is going to be where they start off, but then they'll be going over to the 90 gallon. I just have to figure out exactly when I want to do that phase over, make the transition as smooth as possible, bring over the decor and plants. Maybe even add there's already a UV sterilizer in the 90 gallon. Maybe even add the second one. Just give them the best possible circumstances. Ravenous little guys. Love watching them eat. Love hand feeding them. Really enjoying this little discus adventure. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you can continue to watch the progress and growth of these little guys. Consider becoming a Patreon. Really helps a lot. And that's it. That's it for me. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.